right. I think I'm live. Let's just double check real quick. All these fun windows. All right, I just pulled up the chat, so if you can let me know that you're here by commenting. Oh, hi, Serena. So good to see you. I love you so much. Awesome. Wombafestation. Let's get into it. I don't know why the live doesn't say Wombafestation, but yes, hello, gorgeous. So nice to see you. So for anyone joining who doesn't know me, I'm here to help humanity expand into the 5D, into our psychic abilities, and for a sex revolution where it is seen as sacred, pure, and holy, and not distorted as a tool for using and abusing others. It really has been distorted in our society, and that's a real shame to me and gets me really upset about it because it's so beautiful and spiritual and empowering and creative. It's this energy, and it's still taboo to talk about. So I stand for women being abundant and financially independent, and I really care about sacred relationship and emotional intelligence. So let's get into it. Wombafestation. So most of you probably have heard or seen quotes of like where energy flows, manifestation follows, right? Wherever your thoughts go, your energy goes. And that's how we manifest. And we are all manifesting all the time. And there's some things that really mess with our creating abilities, our manifesting abilities. And one is doubt. Doubt really fucks us up. Like doubt is when we doubt ourselves or we doubt our dream or our vision or the reality that we're birthing into the world, it distorts the energy. And then the universe is like, well, do you really want that? Or what's going on? So doubt is no good for wombafesting. And I like wombafesting because manifesting has man in it. Wombafesting has the womb in it, right? So that's why I call this wombafesting, because for me, things come in through the divine, they move down, and then they're birthed into reality. Another thing that really messes with manifestation is self-loathing. If you're really giving yourself a hard time, that can distort the energy as well. Took me a while to figure that one out, but not loving yourself and believing that you have the power and that you are doing it. Like if you're trying, that's still kind of distorting the energy. You really have to step into resilient confidence and own it. I am doing this. This is happening now. I love you too. Thanks for commenting. So good to see you. Yeah, so doubt, self-loathing, trying, right? We need this resilient confidence because we are manifesting all the time. Our words have power and our thoughts have power, right? And we're giving energy to those things. So if you, like I was saying, are doubting it or not sure or like there's a waiver, that will take things a lot longer to manifest. And if you're not loving yourself, investing time in gratitude and self-care and things to nurture yourself, that really messes with it. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Just realized the mic was kind of down. So hopefully that's fine. So it's been really interesting. Last year, this message came in from the divine, from the universe. I was reading The Great Cosmic Mother with my spiritual community, and this program for a girl's sacred rite of passage got placed into my heart. It was like, you need to do this. And within the year, I ran that program and it was magical, right? So there was no doubt. I really didn't doubt myself. I didn't doubt that it would be helpful for these young women and their mothers to go on this beautiful journey that I wish I had had that I didn't have. Right. And so that was a really quick manifestation. It was like the idea came in the spring. I led the course in the fall and had amazing results with it. Another thing that took a little bit longer to manifest, but eventually was my son's Waldorf school. I really wanted him to go into an environment that was community and cared about imagination and creativity and art, and that would nurture his spirit, which public school doesn't necessarily nurture your spirit. It puts a lot more work on you as the parent. And so I had that on my vision boards. I had it as like my objective, like, yes, he's going to this Waldorf school. And he didn't go when he was in preschool age, but as soon as he was in first grade, that manifested. My car manifested, my Outback, my Subaru, which I love. And every time I get in it, I feel like lush and abundant, and it reinforces this. And I'm already like, ooh, what's the next car I'm going to manifest? It's really fun. Another thing that I'm really proud of and is amazing that was a pretty quick manifestation was the spiritual community, right? So a lot of you know that I have the Pure Grace community. So this is women who are living in a holistic lifestyle and leaders, divine feminine leaders. And we meet together and read sacred texts and discuss it and share these beautiful journeys from the book with each other and our learnings and the application. So that community has been going for a year and a half now or so. And I missed church, but I didn't really resonate with what they say at church. I didn't like the perspective of women, or like the lack of healthy food, or there was things that I, was having trouble with, but I wanted that spiritual community and I wanted to be with women of different ages. So that was something that I'm really proud of, that I was able to manifest. And then also really romantic relationships, being able to attract partners who are growth mindseted or who really care about their spirituality, putting that out and being able to receive that has been totally life-changing. As well as locally in my community, when I moved here a year ago, I wanted girlfriends, right? I wanted to have girlfriends that were local, that I could do things with. And I am part of a couple different communities. One's like the conscious dance community, but then there's a couple women in that group that meet. And so being able to attract that and magnetize that reality into my life, so I have this local community. So it's gotten easier over the years because of resilient confidence and spiritual clarity, like putting intention out there and then becoming unattached to the outcome. Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you. Hi, Soko. Nice to see you. Aw, I love you, ladies. Thanks for being here. So my tips for Wombafesting, right? Birthing things into reality. I think one is to get, I have a couple tips, but one is to get quiet, like to meditate or to really connect with your spirit, so that you are, it's 11:11 here, so that you're clear with your intention and desires, and that you're co-creating with the universe and your dharma and your passion, right? So getting that quiet space to really affirm what it is that you are meant to or called to manifest, and then writing it down, right? Write it down, whatever it is. If you want to have a relationship with someone that's XYZ, right? Make sure that's written down and review it, and then speak it out loud. Like, I am calling in this person, or I'm calling in this job, or I'm calling in, right? And all the time, like, I have little sticky notes everywhere with the things that I'm calling in, because the more that I recite it and say it and then feel it, that would be the next tip, right? Feeling that reality is already happening, that's what magnetizes it to me so I can birth that reality faster. So releasing any doubt, right? So writing it down, speaking it out loud, feeling it, and then at any point where there's a waver or a doubt or an unsure, just letting that go and releasing it. You can do that in the shower, like with the water, like I release. You can just say, I release. Like we are so much more powerful and creating all the time. Like if you think about your relationships, you teach other people. This is what Soko and I were talking about a little while ago, is like you teach other people how you want to be treated, right? So getting really clear on your own first so that you can write it down, speak it to other people in your life, and then feel that that's what's happening, that that's coming to you. So I hope that this is helpful. It's a really, it doesn't really work to just do a vision board or to write it down once or to say it out loud once. Like it's something, because the other thoughts come in, right? Other things will come in and create a doubt or create a waver of the energy or distort it. And so it's like this constant clarity that you have to keep going back to your journal. Or if you have, I like vision boards. I mean, I have nothing against vision boards. Vision boards are really fun. So going back to the vision board and looking at it and saying it, and just, it's like this constant, because our minds, I think you guys know this, but your mind, your ego is based on the past and what's comfortable, and changing things, up leveling things, evolving things, and calling in new realities. That's not happening in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind's like, no, it's comfortable. Like, no, I don't really want to be confrontational, or no, I'd rather just do this thing because that's what I've done in the past, and that's what I know. That's like where the mind will go as default, which is why I love mantras too. I love reciting mantras along with affirmations, because it's creating more space so that the mind can't get in the way of manifesting or wombafesting, right? So it's an interesting thing, but the more that you are feeding in to your body, to the way you feel, to the way you think, to what you're speaking, right? This is why I really care about language evolution. I have a podcast on that if you want to listen to it, because it's just like the more that the words evolve, the faster it is to bring and birth new realities for yourself, because the mind will default and waver, right? And so it's like this constant retraining of the mind and going back to the vision and going back to the dream and feeling it as a reality. It gets really fun. And so I think that, it's important to pay attention to what your mind is doing and where it's going, so that you can reflect and catch yourself when you go into old patterns, old thoughts, outdated behaviors, and reprogram it, right? I personally like singing, and Sarita will like appreciate this, but I love singing the new reality, like just walking around the house, like, oh, I'm calling in this, da, 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 and just making it, because singing is so happy. And when you're singing it and you're in that joy and you're in that vibration, I feel like it amplifies manifestation. So, that's why I'm very careful about what I listen to, because there's a lot of toxicity in mainstream music, like codependent relationships, like, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to live if I'm not in this relationship, or I can't be with you, I don't want to be with anyone. And like very low vibrational, in a spiritual lens, low vibrational lyrics. And so that's why I usually default to like Zen music, or binaural beats, or mantras, or positive affirming music that's just like, I'm calling in this, and I'm an amazing manifestor, and I'm a goddess, or whatever, to reiterate that truth and to birth it and to manifest faster. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, just sharing some of my tips with Wombafesting. I hope that it really served you. If you have any questions or Any other comments about it, please? I'm still here. We can chat about it for a minute, but it's really taken me some time to manifest quicker. There was something that I mentioned to my spiritual community that I was wanting and looking for, and that was in December. And then that came to fruition in February. I was like, ooh, this is fun. This is getting faster, because it was something that I was dreaming about and feeling and thinking and writing down and calling in. No comments, no questions. Okay. Just want to check really quick. Cool. Yeah. So if you are curious, what I am doing, what my offering is it's a divine feminine certification. So that journey is going to start in about 5 or 6 weeks, roughly, in September. I'm thinking about the second week of September. We're going to start and go through the winter solstice and or summer solstice if you're from the southern hemisphere, right? And then rebirth ourselves in womanhood. So this is pretty much all of my life's work and passions, like, into one beautiful certification for women, but especially if you're a leader or a coach or a healer and you want to up your skills and manifesting abilities and sexuality. There's a huge part about sexuality and sacred relationships. So what I help women do is ascend spiritually and embody their unique divine feminine essence, which inspires those around them and magnetizes people towards you. Really, really helping with unshakable, unwavering, like I said earlier, resilient, confident, and confidence and trust in yourself, so that you can lean into and learn new sacred rituals and practical skills and tools to enhance your leadership in your life. Like, because you are leading your life, you are the creatrix of your life. And really helping you uncover like soul rememberings and experiencing revelations. This happened a lot on retreat, these deep soul rememberings, which help us steer deeper into our passions and our purpose. And then fully loving and honoring your sexual nature to raise your frequency and increase manifesting abilities. I mean, it's so amazing. Sexual energy is very powerful. It's vital, right? It keeps you juicy. It keeps you alive. It keeps, like, think about really being alive, really creating your life versus letting it kind of pass you by or being kind of dull. I mean, the juiciness, not only is it super healthy, like super healthy to be tapped into your sexual energy, but it's super spiritual and creative. And that creativity, like, that's what allows us to manifest and birth in new realities. So I put the link above this video. Let me see. Yeah, okay. I did. So if you're curious and want to just have a heart to heart to see if that a divine feminine initiation is right for you, then let's chat about it. I have $1,000 scholarship going on until 8/8 Lions Portal, which I believe is next Monday or Tuesday. So the sooner, if you could talk about it this week, then you can get that discount if it's right for you. So I would love to connect with some of you ladies here and see if this is the next step, the next deep step in your spiritual journey and your longings. We're going to do initiations with ascended masters and like download the codes from these masters, right? So like this week we're doing a challenge in the group, which is about unveiling the mysteries of Isis and, embodying some of her energy, right? Embodying some of Mary Magdalene's energy, like starting to bring in Kuan Yin, bring in, wild buffalo calf woman, like taking some of this, these divine ascended masters and women who their energy is here right now to help the divine feminine rise, right? To so that we can nurture each other, right? So we can take care of the planet, so that we can move away from war and more into peace, like this next level of humanity as we're evolving, becoming more emotionally intelligent. These women, these ascended masters are here vibrationally. And so tapping into that energy and embodying those codes in ourselves will really, really amplify your personal leadership. But then also if you are serving others, which all of us are leading in some way, whether it's in our families or with our like our children or in our communities, right? So this is so needed. And there is a lot of practical skills and tools in there too, of how to hold space, how to keep your heart open and vulnerable while still having an energetic boundary so that you don't overgive or get taken advantage of, which is a challenge, and something that I've mastered. And I love being able to be out and open-hearted with people and still feel safe, or able to hold boundaries that are important. So anyway, I love you all, and hopefully I can chat with you soon. If you are interested in the challenge, I'm super stoked about it. I'm going to be going live this week for the challenge. So let me know with an emoji in that one. Yeah. I mean, boundaries are huge. And like, unless we are like practicing them, starting to put them in place, and then especially I think having the community, having other women that are doing that too, and sharing like how it's working, and the the emotionally intelligent communication, the nonviolent communication that's required to start to set up those boundaries. Oh my gosh, it's a game changer. Yeah, you tuned in right. Yeah, because it's like two things that have been total game changers for me with manifesting, Wombafesting, has been boundaries, boundaries with devices, boundaries with people, boundaries with my self-care, like so much boundaries, which is interesting, right? Because boundaries are like divine masculine energy, like structure, right? It's important to have the structures. It's important to have the boundaries so that the divine feminine energy, the intuitive, flowy energy can flow within those stable environments. Like the balance, something that else that I like I've mastered is my divine feminine energy and my divine masculine, and how do they coincide in the structure of me, right? So that I can be structured and organized and scheduled and boundaried to actually flow with the divine intuition and guidance, right? If I don't have structures in place, I can't really flow with the divine feminine. And the other thing is radical responsibility. So, you know, if you, a lot of times, not you particularly, Laura, but anyone, right? If we don't have the kind of responsibility of for our, because like just you know, like, yes, I have manifested this reality, I'm exactly here right now because I manifested this. That's radical responsibility. Or not blaming or saying to other people like, oh, you know, it's their fault, or it's this person's fault, or it's the weather, or whatever it is, like pushing it out, but taking that radical responsibility for creating your reality, that with boundaries, total game changer. And it's not something that's easy to do. And it's not easy to do alone. It's really helpful when you have other people that are reinforcing it. Like the spiritual community that I have, that some of you all are part of, is just, it's amazing to be able to come back to the group and brag like, oh, like I did this with my mom or my dad or my siblings or whatever it is, like I held this boundary or I held this space. And it's to have other women of different ages be like, oh man, that's huge, and like affirm it, then it increases that. Same with the certification process. If anyone wants to go on that divine feminine initiation, similar thing, because we're working and evolving these things together. It happens faster, right? It happens so much faster than trying to do it alone. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Extra stuff. Let me see. I don't know. I'm just checking the comments. Cool, cool. Yeah, it's so fun to have you live. Thanks for being live and commenting and sharing, because it's like now it's an exchange. Now I'm like, okay, what else do we want to talk about? Any questions about Wombafesting and creating that to make it faster, right? I don't know. It's just great. So it is such, I am so, so stoked for this initiation. I have a big white sticky. I don't know if you can see those white stickies over there. I always put what I'm Wombafesting on the stickies. So I have one with all these red hearts for all of the women that I'm starting to energetically create space for this sacred initiation. So like I said a little bit earlier, if you want to talk about that, like just use the link and we can have a conversation just to see if it resonates with where you are in your journey. Because I am calling in soul aligned women to evolve and step into these ascended master energies and leadership energies and womb worship, right? We're gonna massage our yonis and like do all of the fun witchy things together. So I'm super stoked, and I am calling in, I'm manifesting divine aligned people. So if you're like, that might be me, let's just chat about it. It'll be great. Okay, I think that was everything. I'm starting to get a little hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some lunch. But I love you all, and don't forget, we're doing this challenge this week, which I'm so stoked. So we're going to tap in to Isis/Aset's energy, right? Isis is her colonial name. Aset was what she was called before colonialism, right? And so really bringing in her energy, which is sacred, like spiritual leadership, divine abundance, inheritance, like what we deserve, everything that we desire in this life, like beautiful stuff. And then sacred sexuality. And what does that really mean? What does that look like? So I'm super stoked for the challenge, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow for day 1 of the challenge. I haven't decided when I'm going live, so I'll post about that. All right. Love you all. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Nice to feel you, see you. Well, see you, feel you, I guess. Let me just see. No other comments. Okay, awesome. I'll see you soon.